I didn't plan to come home early. I planned to creep in at midnight the next day, drop my suitcase by the couch, and eat a slice of grocery store cake with one candle, a quiet, stubborn tradition on the eve of my birthday. I always light it for my father first. He used to say a home should sigh when you cross the threshold, like it's relieved you made it back. That afternoon, my home didn't sigh, it screamed. Before I even reached the front steps, the sidewalk looked like a used car lot. A haphazard line of SUVs angled across my lawn. There was a mountain of shoes by the door, heels, muddy sneakers, a pair of boots with spurs for some reason, and a paper sign on my mailbox pointing a big arrow toward my house. Welcome, family. When I opened the door, a hot wave of noise hit me. Music, laughter, someone yelling for more ice as if this were a bar. There were bodies everywhere on my staircase, draped over my sofa, crowding my kitchen island. Strangers, so many faces I had never seen in my life. And across the living room, taped crookedly above my late father's record player, was a vinyl banner in looping script, "Family means forever." For a second, I forgot how to move. My suitcase handle bit into my palm. No one noticed me, not really. A man I didn't know tossed his jacket over the back of my grandmother's chair, the one I had reupholstered by hand, and another used one of my art books as a coaster. Something in me tried to step forward and something else yanked me back, as if the house itself were holding my sleeve. "Sweetheart," my mother's voice sliced through the room. She appeared from the kitchen like a magician with a smile she'd rehearsed in the mirror. "You're early." "I live here," I said. My voice sounded smaller than I expected. She laughed like I'd made a joke that needed saving. "We thought you were back tomorrow. It's a little gathering, family." She gestured toward a woman filming a selfie with two men who looked vaguely related to no one. On cue, my brother Levi slid in, breathless and flushed, a dish towel over his shoulder. "Surprise," he tried. "It's a network night, community vibes, you'll love it." A network night, I stared at the banner again. Family means forever. The F in forever was peeling where someone had stretched it too tight. "Who gave permission to host 90 people in my house?" I asked. I wasn't guessing. I count fast when I'm angry. It keeps me calm. Levi's grin faltered. 90. "Wow, that's flattering. Look, it's mostly family. Second cousins plus a few of my team's friends. We needed space and yours is, perfect." "Perfect because I pay for it," I said. "And because I'm not here to say no." Mom's smile cooled. "Don't make a scene," she whispered. "It's a special night." "I know," I said. "Tomorrow is my birthday." She blinked once, twice, as if the word birthday were in a language she hadn't practiced lately. "Right, we'll do something small." She squeezed my arm, then raised her voice for the room. "Drinks are in the fridge. Someone please move the cooler off the hallway. It's scratching the paint." I walked through my own house like a guest who'd lost her invitation. A stranger had hung coats on the closet where I keep my father's old band jacket. My bedroom door, which I always leave closed, was propped open with one of my dumbbells. In the kitchen, a chalkboard sign, "Not mine," read "Forever Family Kickoff" in bubbly letters. On the island were sample packs of some wellness powder and a QR code. It hit me. This wasn't a reunion. This was a recruiting event with sentimental wallpaper. "Hey," a woman at my sink waved a red cup. "Do you know where the good wine glasses are?" "In a box that says no," I said. "Please use the plastic." She laughed, thinking I was joking. I wasn't. In the den, my father's records were spread like a deck of cards. Fleetwood Mac, Otis, the needle chattered on nothing. A man in a blazer snapped a photo under the banner and said, "This house is a vibe." "No," I said quietly, "it's mine." I found Levi near the fireplace, coaching a cluster of people through a pitch. "We're building community, not just wealth," he was saying, hand on his heart. "Family means forever, right?" His eyes met mine. For a moment, something like shame flickered. Then he turned back to his audience. "My sister's just getting in. Be welcoming, yeah." I could have screamed. I could have unplugged the speakers, pulled the banner down, tossed everyone out with the kind of fury people whisper about for years. Instead, I did what I do best. I observed, I counted, I planned. I took pictures not of faces but of facts. The rented bar set up across the emergency exit to the patio, chafing dishes with open flame below a sprinkler head, cars blocking the red-painted curb by the hydrant, the chalkboard with the event name, the cash box on my counter with a little sign that read SUGGSTED donation $20. Then I picked up my suitcase, carried it to my locked office, and shut the door behind me. My hands shook for the first time, not with fear, with clarity. I called the non-emergency number and described exactly what was happening. Unauthorized event, private residence, overcrowding, blocked egress. I called the HOA security line, texted photos of the curb, and forwarded the noise to a neighbor who sits on the board. I sent the chalkboard photo to the city's online portal for unpermitted events, and because the universe was in a generous mood, my friend Marissa from high school, now a fire code inspector, answered on the second ring. I'm not telling you to rush, I said, but they hung a vinyl banner under my sprinkler and lit sterno underneath. Sterno under a sprinkler, she swore softly. Text me the address. By the time I slid my phone into my pocket, I had also pulled up my smart home app and disabled the Wi-Fi access point labeled guest. The music hiccuped and died mid-chorus. A chorus of disappointed groans made me almost smile. Almost. Levi found me by the bookshelf. He leaned in. You're being intense, he said. This is good for all of us connections. Opportunity. It's my house, I said. Opportunity knocks. It doesn't break in and throw a party. Don't be dramatic, he hissed, glancing at the room. You know how Mom gets when people see conflict. As if summoned by her name, my mother appeared with a tray of paper plates. Everyone loves the house, she sang. They keep saying how lucky we are to have space. Isn't that nice? I asked. The doorbell cut across whatever she was going to say next. Then another chime, louder, firmer, not the doorbell this time, but the kind of knock that means there's a badge on the other side. HOA security came first, a compact man with a clipboard and a polite smile that said he'd prefer not to be yelled at tonight. Behind him, 2 police officers stepped into the entry, all warmth and professionalism. Evening, one of them said. We've had a few calls about a large gathering. Who's the homeowner? 90 faces turned. I raised my hand. I am. The officer nodded. Mind stepping outside so we can talk? We moved to the porch. The air felt like water after the heat of the house. I explained and showed the photos. The security guard peered past me at the hallway floor. That cooler shouldn't be there, he murmured, making a note. One of the officers glanced at the banner and then at the ceiling. Sprinkler, he said to his partner. It was almost funny. I had bent myself around this family for so long that watching professionals simply call things what they were felt like a new language. The fire truck arrived as the first wave of people began to flow toward the door, drawn by curiosity the way fish follow a light. Marissa hopped down from the cab in her inspection jacket and gave me a look that said she would ask questions later. For now, procedure. Folks, she called, voice crisp, we need to clear the living room immediately. You cannot obstruct exits, and open flames under a sprinkler is a violation. The gathering is over until this is safe and compliant. The room obeyed her in a way it never obeyed me. It emptied. Levi stormed toward me, face bright red. What did you do? I invited the adults in the room, I said. Mom put a hand to her chest. You are humiliating us. No, I said. You are doing that yourselves. By the end of the hour, the banner was down, the sterno was cold, and the strangers, the family, had melted into the night, carrying their red cups and their opinions to other people's porches. HOA security snapped photos of the tire ruts on my lawn. The officers wrote a report. Marissa pointed with her pen. See this, that head could have discharged. You'd be paying for a new ceiling tonight. Levi tried to bargain. We can restart in the backyard, he pleaded. We'll keep it small. The team is counting on me. Your team will live, Marissa said, without looking at him. When the last car left, the house exhaled at last, not relief exactly, but something closer to boundary. I stood under the dent where the banner had pulled the paint and felt the kind of tired you feel after lifting something heavy for too long. Mom hovered by the kitchen door. You didn't have to call people, she said, wounded. You could have spoken to us. I did, I said, for years. I slept with my office door locked and my phone face down on the nightstand. On the screen, birthday messages trickled in from people who actually knew what day it was. In the morning, I walked the rooms with a trash bag and a pen. I made a list: carpet cleaning, wall repair, 2 chipped plates, 1 broken frame from the hallway, a ring of red wine on my father's Otis record sleeve that I would never forgive. I sent the list to Levi and my mother with an invoice attached. In the subject line, I wrote, damages plus cleaning due by Friday. I copied the small claims court link below it like a signature. Levi called in 2 minutes. You're kidding. I'm invoicing the event organizers, I said. The chalkboard had a name. So does the HOA fine attached to last night's parking circus. That's in the invoice too. You're doing this on your birthday, he said, like I had missed the poetry of it. Seems appropriate, I said, boundary day. By noon, my mother had composed 3 paragraphs about how family love is priceless and how she couldn't believe I would put money before relationships. I didn't reply. She sent a 4th text, a photo of the banner folded on my dining table, with the caption, "This was supposed to bring us together." I stared at the picture for a long time, then put the fabric in a bag for donation. Somewhere another family could use the word forever responsibly. Levi didn't pay by Friday. He sent a voice note instead, full of sighs. You're really going to drag us to court? Yes, I said. Glad you asked. Small Claims was fluorescent and efficient. The judge listened while I spoke in the same calm voice I use when life gets loud. I presented photos, the HOA notices, the police report number, the fire inspection notes Marissa had filed, the rental company receipt my mother had signed for the extra chairs and globe lights. I didn't mention how my father's record sleeve felt in my hands when I saw the stain. Some grief is a language the court doesn't speak. Levi tried charm that wilted under questions. We meant no harm, he said. It was family. Family doesn't waive liability, the judge said dryly. Judgment for the plaintiff, damages as requested. When we stepped into the hallway, my mother hissed, You're breaking this family. No, I said, and even I was surprised by how gentle it sounded. I am fixing my home. Consequences have a way of echoing, even when you don't amplify them. Word of the shutdown got around. The wellness team found other living rooms to praise. Levi's reputation in our tiny orbit took a hit that didn't kill him, but finally made a dent. The HOA letter became part of a file with our last name on it. The fines plus the judgment hurt not forever, but enough to be remembered. I changed the locks that week and collected the spare keys like overdue library books. I also changed something quieter, the contact names in my phone. I added last names. I removed the word mom from the emergency access list for my security system and replaced it with the alarm company's number. On my birthday night, I lit 2 candles. One for my father, one for the room I reclaimed. I ate my cake in the quiet and replayed a single moment from the night before, the sound of 90 people moving because someone named the rules out loud. A few days later, my mother tried one last time. She came by with a Tupperware of something she'd call an apology if you squinted. Standing on my porch, she started with, We only wanted a night that felt like family. So did I said. And I found it looks like respect. She looked past me into the entryway, as if she could memorize enough to retell the story better somewhere else. You can't cut us out forever, she said, not a threat exactly, just a script she believed. Forever is a long time, I said, so is for now. For now, we meet at neutral places, we plan, we ask. If those words feel too heavy, you're welcome to carry them together. I nodded at the banner bag by the door. They're lighter than vinyls. She left without giving me the Tupperware. I watched her cross the lawn, heels punching little half-moons into the grass, and I felt something I hadn't felt in a very long time, not victory, not revenge. Relief, the clean kind that comes from choosing yourself without asking permission. People say family means forever, maybe, but forever without boundaries isn't love. It's a party in a stranger's house. And now that I've locked my door from the inside, I'm not afraid of knocking from the outside again. If you've ever had to choose between keeping the peace and keeping your peace, tell me what you did and tell me if you'd have pressed charges. I'm still listening, and if stories like this make you feel less alone, subscribe. Karma has more addresses to visit, and she never misses a banner.